So measurement of flowing liquids. So in industry, to control industrial process, it is essential to know the amount of material entering and leaving a process or system. To achieve this, usually we measure the rate at which the fluid is flowing to pipe or channels. So in industry, many meters are used. Selection of meters are based upon these following criteria. The first one is the applicability of the instrument in the particular problem. So it depends on what kind of fluid and system that you have. The second one is the installation cost. The third one is the operation cost. The fourth one is the rangeability, the range of flow rates commutable, and the fifth one is the accuracy of the meter. So there are a lot of meters that can be used in industry to flow the measure directly, but most of them measure the volumetric flow rate or the average fluid velocity. And the two most commercially available meters to measure our volumetric flow rate or average fluid velocity are known as the full bore meters and insertion meters. So the full bore meters is defined as the meters which operate at all the fluid within the pipe or channel, whereas the insertion meter is defined as meters which measure the flow rate or fluid velocity at one point only. So these are the two types of meter that we use in industry, and these are the definitions that you must know. So the first meters that we'll be looking at is the full bore meters. So the three most common type of full bore meters used in industry is venturi meters, orifice meters, and rotameters. So first of all, we look at the venturi meters. Now venturi meter is a meter that consists of a short conical inlet section that leads to a throat section and subsequently to a long discharge cone. So this is a figure that shows how a venturi meter will look like. So this is where we call the short conical inlet section. Okay, this is the short conical inlet section. This is where we call the throat section, and the final part is the discharge cone. So basically it has three main parts to the meter. Pressure taps at the start of the inlet section and the throat section are connected to a manometer or differential pressure transmitter. So the first part will be located here at the inlet section, and the second part of the manometer will be located at the throat section. So the manometer will be used to measure the velocity or the flow rate of the fluid flowing in the venturi meter. In a well-designed venturi meter, the angle of discharge cone is designed small, between 5 to 15%, in order to prevent boundary layer separation and to minimize friction. So it's saying that here, the angle here will be around 5 to 15% only. So these are some examples of venturi meter that are actually used in industry. It can come in various type of material depending on your application and different types of sizes. So some of the advantage and disadvantage of using venturi meter. The first advantage is low pressure loss to the meter, about 10% of pressure. The second one is that it can be used for dirty, viscous, and some slurry flows. However, the disadvantage of venturi meter is that the medium cost due to fabrication of curved surfaces. It is bulky and electronic pressure gauge needed to send computer signal. So again, the basic equation for venturi meter is obtained by writing the Bernoulli equation for incompressible fluid across the upstream cone. So we will write a Bernoulli equation between point A here in the inlet section and point B here in the throat section. So this is our Bernoulli equation. Now if you look at this equation, you might notice that we don't have the work term here because there is no work done in the venturi meter. The only thing is happening is that the fluid is flowing from point A in the section, inlet section, to the discharge section. So this is the general Bernoulli equation. Now since point A and point B are at the same level, that's why there is no element of elevation. So we can say that your term of ZA and ZB is equal to 0. After we have eliminated both of these terms, we can rearrange the equation. So we bring the pressure terms to one side and velocity terms to the other side. So this equation will become PA minus PB over rho is equal to alpha B BB squared minus alpha A B alpha squared over 2 GC. So here we do some more modification to the equation. Now if you look at here, yes, we say that the mass flow rate m dot is equal to SA BA rho A is equal to SB BB rho B. So we are saying that since the material flowing in the manometer is the same, so we can say that the flow rate at point A and point B is the same. And the mass flow rate can be defined in this term, where SA and SB is the surface area, VA and VB is the velocity, and rho A and rho B is the density of the fluid. And we can further define our value of SA, which is the surface area, as pi dA squared over 4. So for the B, pi dB squared over 4. Now if we substitute SA and SB into this equation, so we get that pi dA squared over 4 VA rho A is equal to pi dB squared over 4 VB over VB times rho B. Now since the fluid flowing in point A and point B is the same fluid, so we can say that the density of the fluid will be the same. So rho A and is equal to rho B. So by cancelling out the pi term for rho A, pi, 4 and rho B, we are left with this equation. And this equation, we simplify it by saying that beta here is a dimension ratio between the throat diameter and the inlet diameter. B here stands for the throat, A here stands for the inlet. So we can define VA in terms of VB. So we have VA is equal to beta squared times VB. Now we take this value and we input in our Bernoulli equation. So this is the simplified Bernoulli equation from the previous slides. PA minus PB over rho is equal to alpha B VB squared minus alpha A VA squared over 2. We have defined that VA is equal to beta squared over VB. So we substitute the value here, VA into this here. So we get our equation something like this. Now after rearranging all the equations, we can get the velocity at point B. VB is equal to 1 over square root of alpha B minus alpha A beta to the power of 4 times square root of 2 PA minus PB over rho. So between the upstream inlet and the throat section, there will always be a small friction loss. Now this friction loss we corrected in the equation by introducing an empirical factor known as CV, which is the Venturi coefficient. So usually Venturi coefficient value will be around 0.98 to 0.99 depending on the diameter of the pipe. And taking into account the alpha A and alpha B into the value of CV, this is the final equation for Venturi meter. So from this equation, we can calculate the value of velocity of B, velocity of fluid at point B. So from the equation of VB, we can find the volumetric flow rate. So volumetric flow rate is equal to Q. The unit here must be meter cube per second or cm cube per second. So we can define it as Q is equal to surface area of the pipe times the velocity. It should be velocity here. Surface area of the pipe times the velocity of the fluid. So Q is equal to VB, which is the velocity of the fluid at point B, and SB is the surface area at point B. So if put the equation of VB that we just got in the previous slide, so you get the equation for Q is equal to CV SB over 1 over square root of 1 minus beta to the power of 4 times square root 2 PA minus PB over rho. Now the same equation can be used to calculate our mass flow rate. So we know that our mass flow rate is volumetric flow rate times the fluid density. So here, take this equation and you times it with your density. So you see here, instead of being on the bottom, your term for density will be on the top, because you are times, this one is rho to the power of half times rho to the power of 1. So you divide and you get half here. So this is how you get the equation for your mass flow rate.